could imagine how someone might say that, hang on a minute, David's focusing on some bad stuff here, talking about bad things that people do, and how does that fit with the science of the mind training? And it does fit. There's a reason for identifying bad stuff, and the reason is I talk about it as being an immune system or antivirus mechanism within us that we need to be able to identify and recognize and admit when something is bad and when it's unhealthy or harmful in any way, because otherwise it's like we're living in denial. It's like it is bad, but we just don't want to acknowledge that it's bad. So, and because we don't identify it, we don't recognize it, then it just continues on and on and on. And with the science of the mind, I'm identifying all these mental illnesses and redefining mental illness to say we've all got mental illness pretty much, just like we've all got physical illness to some degree through our lives, and that it fluctuates. If we're feeling really tired one day, then we might feel physically exhausted and we're not really physically healthy, we're not really physically strong that day. And it can be like that with our mental health as well. And mental illness is something in truth that we all have, and I've been saying this to people for years now in the office, and now I'm just coming out in a broader arena and saying that there. I know that there's all of those ideas that mental illness is something that's suffered by some percentage of the population or some proportion, that statistics come out, but there's that saying that 90% of statistics are inaccurate, or I can't remember what it was. I used to know that, but it was a bit funny. And just a joke there, using a statistic to say that a certain proportion of statistics are not correct, pretty much showing that maybe it's not as reliable as we think it is when things come out in magazines or whatever. Just encouraging people to question as a part of the science of mind training, and just keep it real. Check out what happens within your own mind and within your own life that you can observe happening in the world around you, and see whether what's coming out in the magazines or in the media fits with your own experience, and to trust ourselves and follow our instincts a bit more here. And identifying and recognizing illnesses, I'm identifying a whole host of illnesses that I feel like I've never heard anyone else really talk about this. You know, that mental health and physical health is an absence of ill health, and that's all it is there needs to be an absence of ill health there. If there is ill health, then there's some sort of a sickness there, or a disease, or something's not quite healthy there. And that there are all sorts of things that make us lose happiness in our minds and lose health, and a lot of health potentials and happiness potentials within ourselves that we don't usually activate for most people. And that's what I'm trying to share all these things through the science of the mind, to say that, you know, disrespectful behavior, or like learning to be respectful, learning to be courteous, learning to be humble and grateful sort of person is really brings a lot of health and happiness to our minds. And if it's not there, then there's an illness there. There's a lack of health that potentially could be there. And that's why it's important for me to point out these things as the founder and creator of the Science of the Mind here. I feel a responsibility, I suppose, to share and help activate the immune systems in your mind, because the immune system needs to be able to recognize what's going wrong there, if it's anything bad or harmful, and then just forgiving it, but learning, trying to improve it there so that the health in our system improves and we can get more happy people there. And that's a joke that happened in my family, is that there was this song, I Want You to Be Happier, was on the radio, and I was saying, that's a beautiful song. And this guy's saying sounds like his girlfriend, that he wants her to be happier. And then my family were laughing and saying, oh, David, you're so innocent, you haven't really listened to the lyrics there, and pointing out to me that I think the person's saying they're going to leave, they want their girlfriend to be happier, so they're going to leave, and that's the solution they're presenting there. So until I'd realised that, I thought, oh, this is really wholesome song, isn't it? Innocent. This person's made a song and it's got really popular, and he's just saying he wants his girlfriend to be happier. And we can do stuff like that as people training in the science of the mind. So we should do stuff like that, because we've got the potential there, and it'll make us happier and healthier, and the people around us healthier and happier too.